Good night, people. Today we're going to talk about one of the most famous arguments for God existence, that is the contingency argument. Now, what does the contingency argument say? We're going to discuss that later, but people often think of contingency as airtight, very rational, and unavoidable when it comes in debates. So we're just going to simple it down, and I'm going to show you something very important today, that is, you don't have to reject the idea of God to don't believe in contingency. So let's decode it clearly. Now, first, let's us know that what contingency argument even means. It means that let's first see the whole world is divided into two parts, that is contingent things and non-contingent things. What does contingent things mean? That things that exist that could have failed to exist, but they exist. So that means that there is an explanation behind them. There is a reason behind those contingent things. If I have to explain physical contingency, for me, I can explain it with these earphones. Now, why are these earphones? Let's first ask, how are these earphones in this box? Now you must say, let's say, how are these earphones in this state and in this place right now? The first plausible answer would be that because the box is holding them. And then how, if I say, okay, so what's holding the box? You might say my hand. Then you say what's holding your hand, then I must say that my shoulder. Then you might say that what's holding your shoulder, and I would say my body. And what's holding your body, I would say the ground. And what's holding the ground, I said what's holding my body is the floor of my house. And then you would question, then what's holding the floor of your house, and I would say the ground. And then we can go deeper and deeper. So what does this mean? All these things that I've mentioned, these are considered as contingent things. That means they need a creator. Not a creator, but a reason. If the ground didn't exist right now, this wouldn't exist right here in this state in the first place. This is what contingency actually means, but this is actually physical contingency. If we talk about the normal contingency, that means that everything in this universe has a reason and therefore needs a creator. That's what contingency is actually meant to be. But today we are going to debunk it. Now, how are we going to debunk this? It sounds very philosophically plausible to think, yes, it's actually correct. If it's like saying, if you see a piece of furniture, that means a carpenter has made it. It's very plausible, a carpenter has, if it exists right now, if this table exists right now, that means a carpenter has created that table. But we can't say that on a wider scale, on a larger scale. We can say that a group of contingent things needs a creator. We can say, yes, it's very correct to think that, yes, if this pen exists right now, therefore the pen needs a creator and needs a reason to exist. That's why it's here, right? But you can't say that for a group of pens, or like if I get a room full of pens, is there a reason to them? No, there isn't. But this was a very bad explanation. Let me give you a better explanation for my argument. That is that yes, every human needs a mother to live and to have a reason. But that doesn't mean that humanity needs a mother. because it doesn't has a, like, humanity doesn't have a mother, but an individual has a mother. That means the individual is contingent because it needs a creator. But that individual, when it comes together and makes up a flock, the flock doesn't need a contingent thing. That's same as the universe. Universe is made up of the contingent things, but when those contingent things come together, it doesn't need a creator. That's simple. It's simple. Now, this is a very good explanation for this, but there's another explanation for contingency. It is like, what do? Is see, they think, like, whenever we argue about contingency, they divide the whole universe into two things, that is contingent and non-contingent beings and things. Now everything we see around us is contingent. That means it needs a creator. This pen is here right now because it has went through the all processes of factories, and therefore it has caused this to exist. And if we go for the same for the universe, we are here right now because some chain of events has caused me till here right now, isn't it? That's the reason. Okay, now I have been caused till now, and therefore I'm speaking. But and if we go back for each step, back, we can't just go back infinitely, isn't it? The chain of reactions can't continue infinitely, because to continue something, you need to start first. And if you need to start, you need a being. It's called, I think it's called a sufficient being, or it's called something. But you need a being that needs to exist in the first place, which caused the chain of events to happen. They can't continue infinitely. I mean, to explain this, if you want to learn about contingency more, you can read Saint Thomas Aquinas in its principle of motions. If an object is moving and you see it moving, but you don't see the person who threw it, you just see the object moving, and you think, oh, this object is moving. But it's not very sensible to think of that this object, if it's moving right now, it must be moving from the eternity and will go till the end, and like no end, it will go into the eternity. Because it's very plausible to think that there must be a creator that has started this motion, isn't it? Without the energy, how can this action be done if it's not caused? If the potential energy has not been converted into kinetic energy, then how can this action be done? It's like this. But then the simple question to this is, then who caused the creator? Or who caused the causer? It's very funky to hear that, but it is true, isn't it? We also need to go back. Why there needs to be a sufficient reason or sufficient being? That sufficient being also might be contingent. It's not necessary that it's non-contingent. So that's sorry for that. That's my explanation for contingency. And I have more points to talk about that. Yes, guys, that's my explanation for contingency. I hope you enjoyed it and you understood what contingency means. I thought creating a video on this topic because contingency has been a very famous and ongoing topic on debates lately. So I thought I should also jump in the sea and sail my boat. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Good night.